Well, the question of government guidance is a red herring. There is a technical, bureaucratic number produced by the Department for Communities and Local Government. It's one that is inherited from previous administration. The reason it gives this number is to help councils who need to set a rent in order to converge their rents with market rents. It's basically a guide to say if you want your rents to come into line with market rents, this is the number that you need to stick to. But the department has given an express public statement saying that it is not obliging councils to do it, and in fact if councils want to set a lower rent or indeed decrease rents, it's completely up to them. It is nothing to do with the department. All they're doing is just giving a number to help councils if they want to converge their rents. Now, Ipswich Borough Council has not said that it wants to converge rents. It's not part of its policy this year. What it is doing is raising rents, and I'm afraid, as is becoming a bit of a pattern, blaming someone else for their problems. The real reason why they're raising rents is because the council has embarked on a large council house building programme, very few of whom have actually been built now, and they are paying for it in part through putting up rents on the working poor. Now, I have nothing against the council building council houses if they can do it cheaply. But what I do have a problem with is them stopping private developments across the town which could bring more cheap accommodation onto the market, whilst at the same time jacking up rents on the working poor, really with the sole purpose of being able to put something on their leaflets about improving the number of council houses, none of whom really have come to market yet. So be careful when you listen to the council and what they say, because quite a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. The truth of it is that rents are going up on the people who can afford it least, and I'm afraid I'm really disappointed in the council because it's shown that they're not so much concerned with the people they're supposed to represent and more with electoral tactics. So when you're talking about the under-occupancy charge, it's been a controversial charge, and there is a reason for it, which is that every week in my surgery I have many families come to me who cannot get a council house. They're people who are working, who are desperate for accommodation for their families, but there is not the stock. Now, there are two ways out of this. One is to build, and the best way of building is allowing developers to build with a social housing content. And that, I'm afraid, the council is not doing quickly enough. And the second way is to make sure that you're managing your council house stock in the most immediate way. It's obviously going to take a while to build. Managing your council house stock. And it's clearly not fair if you've got someone who is occupying 2 bedrooms of a 5-bedroom house, and there is a family that desperately needs that space. What we're saying in the under-occupancy charge is those people who are in a house which is bigger than their needs, you can either rent out those rooms or you can help the council with an additional charge to be able to pay for the private rented accommodation that those people, those families need. Now, I think that is fair because it gives people a choice. And those people who really do need that extra space have a dispensation, which I have helped many families get across Ipswich, so that they are able to stay in their house. But what is not fair is the council using that as an excuse for putting up rents on everyone, which is what they've done. So, I implore the council again, think hard about what you're doing, because you're using the rhetoric of a problem with cost of living, something that I've been aware of since I've been Member of Parliament and before. But don't use the rhetoric and then one of the few powers you've got to make sure you can do something about it, ignore it, in fact do the reverse, put up costs on those people who are working hard and trying to get on, but have their futures in your hands because they're paying one of the largest bills to you, the Ipswich Borough Council.